Okay, let me be real in this video. Black women just honestly want to feel safe. They just want to feel protected. It's very simple. The more I interact with my own race, the more I see that there really don't be issues and there really don't be problems as much as we be making it seem. You see, they be tripping off of little stuff like open communication, transparency. They be they be feeling sometimes the energy be off and you just don't be saying it, and I be getting under their skin. They'll start picking arguments with you just because they want you to address the bigger picture. From my experience, the more you talk to them, the more you give them not only that space to be themselves, but express themselves, but then give them that guidance where they want it. It allows them to actually be who they are. You see, too many of us, we're trying to change them or trying to mold them into who we want them to be instead of empowering them to be who they are supposed to be. And that's where these arguments and that's where these disconnects become, because sometimes what she's talking about and what she's bringing up to the table is valid. It may not be what you want, but it's something that she needs in order to be the best version of her. And a lot of us don't understand that. We're arguing with you guys way too much, belittling, cheating. You know how many queens, man, I run across, everything in their life is amazing. But when it comes to these dudes, when it comes to these N-words, it's all type of trauma. It's all type of, adversities going on. They can't lock a man down. You want to know why? Because the scene is so toxic and their emotions has just been so abused and just tormented that it's difficult for them to actually fall into their femininity, actually able for them to actually be the woman that we quote unquote want them to be. You got to remember, in order for a woman to be a woman, she can't be the best woman that she can be if she's in a fucked up environment. Just being real. Before we start looking at them being that they need to get better, we need to focus on creating better men. We need to be the best that we can, because that creates an environment for more women who are of that frequency to coexist inside of the space. And the more women that we have coexisting within healthy spaces, it shows a clear example for the women who aren't in those healthy spaces what they could be living if they would simply get into alignment. Things would change. A lot of things would change. Same things with these women. Same things with you queens who's watching my videos. If you guys start holding yourself to higher standards and you start messing with different men, better men, you guys are going to be the staple or the standard of what a healthy black relationship looks like. But unfortunately, when we start talking about healthy black relationships and everything like that, we start bringing up celebrities, we start bringing up athletes, we start bringing up artists, just within whatever facet, entrepreneurs, just people who are in the media, right? We don't talk about a lot of the healthy relationships and the healthy marriages that actually coexisted, because that's not the standard. The standard is the blue faces, it's the Jadas and Wills, the list goes on. I'm not about to sit here and name every fucked up relationship that has hit the media that everybody made a trend versus the healthy relationships. And you want to know what's crazy? It's so sad that I can't even articulate what are some of the healthy relationships that we see in the media, because it's so overshadowed by the toxic ones that it doesn't even ring a bell. That says something. When we don't even have a representation of what a healthy black relationship between man and women look like of our own race. The closest thing, the only thing that probably came to mind, probably Obama. You get what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of other, Kendrick maybe. But even with the Kendrick situation, if I'm listening to his music correctly, there was infidelity and stuff like that in there too. More black trauma. And that's what I'm talking about. Yes, we have some relationships that, make it through, but even those go through such immense trauma because of what we went through in the past. Our inner childs are so fucked up. Our parent issues, our mommy and daddy wounds. We'll start messing up good things. Now, some people's able to thug it out, go through those hard seasons, but not everybody has that emotional capacity to sit through trauma. You feel me? To sit through something that they know shouldn't have happened. It's different when it's like a life adversity. Loved ones, the loss of a loved one, financial up and downs, you lose a job or something like that. Understandable. But if people can't sit through the random adversities of life with you. Like, you guys don't agree on something simple. You guys don't agree on like the basics of things. Like, there's arguments happening for like little shit, like food. Y'all saw the A1 video that I made. That's what's the problem. And I know I'm like bouncing in so many different places because it's like the scene and the space that we're in. Nobody's actually saying what needs to be said. Everybody wants to be pimps, all this other type of stuff. Man, I'm talking to women. They're like, it's crazy when I hear out of women's mouth, and I've heard it from multiple women. It would be so easy if I was a hoe. Don't you think that says something about the climate or the space of men? That's at the mass majority. Where women start to feel like if I didn't love, if I didn't feel, if I wasn't in tune with my heart, maybe I would get what I want. But since I'm a lover out here, nothing's working. It's the same thing with these men. We're lovers. A good amount of us are lovers. But we're like, man, the lust works more than love. So it gets to the point where you have the fucked up seeds, the people who actually want the lust. And then you have a good little corner in there, where it's people who don't want nothing to do with what's going on in this scene, but they feel like the only ways that they're going to have a connection and feel a little bit of love is if they partake in this lustful ass environment. That's why I'm like, yo, there's so many levels to this, and it all comes down to we're not making them feel safe. We're putting them in situations where it brings out the worst in them. And since they're hitting us with the worst of them, we're hitting them with the worst of us. We're ego tripping. What's that word? Patriarchy? A lot of people don't like to talk about that and admit that, but it's real. It exists. And it was put into the men's minds generations, like hella generations back. So we'd be oblivious to act like not only society, but the men don't have it rooted somewhere in their ideology. It takes a good amount of brainwashing for somebody to come off that type of high horse. A man to come off that type of high horse. Leadership, that type of thing. We go back to ancient places in Africa, certain tribes, certain queendoms. I probably said that for a reason. Oh, certain queendoms. The women were the leaders. They were making the shot call. They were calling the plays. The men were the helpers. A beautiful example of this is bees. There's a queen bee and a whole bunch of workers. There's not a king bee and a whole bunch of women workers going out there because that's not their job. Their job is to hold it down spiritually, hold down that home. The man is supposed to go out there and do what they got to do. She has a leadership position in that house because she's responsible for maintaining the spiritual protection and covenant over that household. She has a say-so in what happens in that house. Men, we don't view it like that. We think we're closer to God than she is. Why? Because of religion. Religion that was rooted in patriarchy. She is our rib, as if we're the full vessel and she is just a piece. Are you feeling the gist of what I'm saying? We're not truly making them feel safe. We're putting them in jeopardizing situations and belittling situations without realizing we're putting them in jeopardizing situations. And then getting mad when that inner child gets triggered. Because especially with black women, we take this back a few couple, not even a few couple, we go back thousands of years. There was a point in time they didn't have to deal with that shit. They didn't have a man telling them what to do all day fucking long. And then getting mad at them when they speak up. That wasn't a thing. All these little like nuances of how a relationship should be, that wasn't a thing. So eventually she might get triggered. And you might be like, why is this happening? Nobody did anything to her. It's that ancestral trauma. So yeah, man, I think that's the main majority of what I want to talk about in this video. We just need to bring more awareness and more attention to the things going on around us and actually love each other. Because it's not that difficult. When you actually put your ego to the side, you sit back, you listen, let somebody trigger you. All because you triggered, that doesn't mean that they're wrong. Vice versa. Ditto. You feel me? So, that being said, I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. My books are down in the description. You guys can also get a one-on-one either through the link or hit my Instagram. However you guys want to get in contact with me, make it happen. So yeah, man, I love you guys. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Love these women, y'all.